How's it going, everyone? Welcome to the Last Seed podcast. As always, it's your boy John. Got Ty with me here today. Before we get started, please hit that subscribe button. We are so close to 100 subscribers right now. So close, we can almost taste it. We only need 5 more. We have 95 at the time of recording. Also, hit that like button. I appreciate all the support. Ty does as well. But we got a new segment today, Ty. We got a
Yeah,
new
this one should be fun.
So we're gonna call it the Last Seed Podcast Time Machine.
I like it.
We're gonna go back in the time. We're gonna go back in time to a time when the Bills were a lot more miserable, and we're gonna reminisce about it. Well,
Oh, boy. I thought these times were over.
well, we're gonna relive them today together. So the way we came up with like what season we were gonna start on was this was around the time like me and Ty started to really talk football together. So I think it's gonna be really cool for listeners to see like, hey, what we used to talk about back then, debates we used to have. But let's get into it. The 2013 Buffalo Bills season. Ty, what'd you think going into this season?
uh, Honestly, nothing much. I mean, like you said, it was one of those times where it's like, you know, I was hyped, of course, because every year it was one of those things where it's like, even if we finished bad the year before, you thought like, all right, next year will probably be a little bit different. Maybe we can add some more wins and stuff like that. But in reality, you kind of know it's like, oh man, we always kind of finish with the 6-10 or 7-9. Maybe if we're lucky, we'll get to the 8-8 or something like that. But it's one of those things where, in reality, I really didn't have a lot of high hopes for it.
I'm already thankful for what we have now, even though we haven't won the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah,
Just you saying that. But yeah, I mean, going in this season, you have some new hope. New coach coming in, Doug Marrone. Let's see, we have EJ Manuel, probably your favorite Bill of all time,
yeah, he's got to be up there.
coming into the fold. Also, two quarterback, Ryan Fitzpatrick out, Kevin Cobb in. We'll get into maybe more of the Kevin Cobb stuff in a little bit. But
hmm
but yeah, what did you think about Marrone coming in and all of a sudden we draft EJ Manuel in the first round.
Yeah. So, like you said, EJ is probably one of my favorite Bills all time, and some people are probably gonna hear this and be like, why? you know, why is this guy one of your favorite Bills? And the reason is, he was that quarterback when it came to, the size that I've wanted for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted that tall, bigger, stocky quarterback. I believe the Bills have a taller, bigger, stockier quarterback right now. But
I
that's
can't think what his name is.
yeah, that's something else. And I'm not comparing the two at all. Trust me. Um, but when we got him, honestly, I kind of thought we were going to go Ryan Nassib from Syracuse just because of the ties with Marrone.
Right.
So I kind of figured, I'm like, hey, this guy's getting drafted, in the same year that Marrone, happens to take over the head coach as the Bills. Kind of made sense. Obviously, it didn't happen. We took Manuel, and it's one of those things where I was like, all right, I like the pick. Let's see obviously how it is, but just off of like knowing a little bit about him and like how he was in college and definitely like his measurables, I was definitely excited uh for him. But I'll stand on this hill forever. I don't think things worked out the way it should have with him. I didn't know what to expect from Marrone. As of right now, like how I feel about Doug Marrone. you know
Yeah.
Not a fan.
Yeah. So I mean, I'll say this. I mean, from when Marrone first got there and he stepped in that podium, I'm just like, all right, you know what I mean? Like, I hate to say like appearances mean something when you're a coach and stuff like that. You know what I mean? It's not all about that, but I mean, all right, like before, and this is no shot at Chan Gailey, who I think is a better offensive mind than Marrone ended up being, but when Marrone stepped up there, it's like, all right, you know what I mean? We got, you know what I mean, a dude as our head coach. You know
hmm
what I mean? It seemed like he was a guy that could command a room, all that type of stuff. Ended up not working out. from appearances looked like, all right, this guy, maybe he's the next Bill Parcells. You know what I mean? He kind of had like that look about him.
Hmm.
He turned around Syracuse's program. And more on Manuel, I mean, yeah, he definitely had a lot of the measurables. Just didn't seem like he really had the mind for the game. I seemed like he telegraphed a lot of passes, but we'll get into that as we go through the games. I will give you credit on one thing with Manuel. They were expecting Kevin Cobb to start this year.
100%.
And Manuel, I think, was someone that needed probably 2 years to sit behind someone and learn. But
Yep.
I mean, like that's the Bills' fault. I mean, like obviously, Kevin Cobb slipping on a mat, you can't predict that.
Right.
But I mean, the guy had concussion issues his whole career. I mean, we had Ryan Fitzpatrick. You should have just said like, hey, let's just keep Fitzpatrick here for a couple years. EJ can learn behind him. You know what I mean, and really hone in his skills and not play. EJ, I think, as much as you loved EJ, you can even admit he wasn't ready.
Yeah, no, 100%. I didn't want to see him start right away anyway. You know, I'm on the boat with you where he's somebody that, like you said, probably a good 2 years he needed to just sit behind and learn. I think Fitzpatrick wasn't the greatest quarterback ever, but he's a guy that he knew what he was doing. He's a veteran. I think that's what EJ needed. He needed a guy who's been in the league a while that he could sit behind, he can learn, watch the film. I mean, it could have turned out the same way even if he sat for 2 years. Like, we're never going to know.
Right.
I just thought that he was definitely raw coming in, and it wasn't. I don't even think the Bills were expecting to have him start week one as well. Like you said, it was Kevin Cobb's job.
Yeah.
Um, but like you said, I would have liked to have seen them just kept Fitz. Let him be the starter. And I mean, maybe even during the season, if something happens, you're getting blown out a game, you throw EJ in or something like that. For a few snaps, but. Yeah, definitely. I agree with he should have been sitting.
And also, too, my biggest, you know what I mean? The thing I didn't like about the EJ pick at the time is that I didn't feel it was a strong quarterback draft. And it turned out to be true. I mean, Geno Smith
Hmm.
ended up being the only one that I guess you can say turned out to be halfway decent. But I mean,
Right.
the rest of that draft was horrible. And we had multiple years before that where we would not pick a quarterback in the draft, or at least high. And then we picked that year of all the years
Hmm.
to move at quarterback.
Right.
But let's get into it. So, Kevin Cobb slips on a mat. I think even EJ Manuel was injured going this game. I think there was talks of Jeff Toole starting week one. But
Hmm.
we get into week one. EJ Manuel's your starter. The Bills play the Pats. Pats win 23-21.
Yep.
So, I mean, obviously we know back then the Patriots were pretty dominant against us.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, Guskowski makes a field goal with 5 seconds left. What do you remember your reactions to this game and maybe a little bit after?
I think just like all of like the emotions of, like you said, like we thought Cobb was going to be the starter. Next thing you know, week one it's EJ the starter. We're hearing about Jeff Toole, like you said. But I mean, we know, like you said, we know who New England was. You know, around this time. They were great. They owned the AFC East. It was one of those things where it's like, how are we even in this game? I don't think a lot of people were even giving us a chance. So it's like, for it, like you said, to come down to a game-winning field goal. It's one of those things. After the game, I'm like, hey, we got a rookie quarterback who started this game. We lost, by a game-winning field goal. Like, there's a lot of stuff you can hold your head up high about. Um, and I wasn't looking at it like, oh man, like this guy, we just drafted this quarterback, like we're doomed. You know, it wasn't all things. So I think there's definitely some light as far as hey, it's early in the season. You just competed with the team that owns you and the whole AFC East. You know, um, so it's one of those things where definitely being early in the season, I'm like, hey, like there's some good coming out of this. I felt like, and obviously we know how the season ended, but.
Yeah, I mean, and all in all, I mean, EJ for his first game handled himself pretty well. I mean, 18 of 27 for 150, 2 touchdowns, didn't throw a pick. I mean, not great numbers, but for a rookie in his first start, I think you take that every time.
Right.
We're going to mention him a million times, I feel, in this season, but Kiko Alonso, I mean, 9
Hmm.
tackles, forced fumble, recovered that fumble. Denoris Searcy, 74-yard fumble return touchdown. I mean, defense showed up. It's just, the Patriots did their Patriot things. Amendola, 10 for 104. Edelman, 7 for 79. So that's really what did
Right.
the field in. But yeah, so we go on to week 2.
Carolina.
This is probably. I'm gonna let you take the floor on this one. This is probably one of your favorite games in Bills history. So go ahead.
I believe this is where we wore the white retros at home.
Yeah, I think.
And yeah, if I'm picturing it right, it's the way. I don't have the picture of the uniforms up here, but yeah, it was the white retros, and I think if you had to guess one of my other all-time favorite Bills players, it's probably the guy who caught the touchdown. Which was the game winner, I believe.
Yes, it was.
Yep, it was the game winner. I can literally picture it in that spot of the end zone and everything. But yeah, that game-winning touchdown from E.J. Manuel to Stevie Johnson. Stevie's one of my all-time favorites as well. That was definitely one of those things. Like I said, coming off of week 1, even though we lost, but like you said, having a quarterback who's a rookie who, he didn't turn the ball over, he's not throwing picks or anything, he's keeping his composure, like not the best numbers, but handled himself pretty well. Still having all right, I think we're good coming out of week 1 to go into week 2 and, to win like that. I was like, dude, like there's probably a message to you like after that game that says like EJ's the future, like put him in the Hall of Fame right now or something. I guarantee you there's a message out there that says something like that.
Yeah, there was definitely. I mean, this honestly might be, E.J. Manuel's high point as a Bill, and it came as in a second start. Funny enough, but it was
Right.
kind of downhill from this point. But yeah, I mean, E.J. Manuel had almost 300 yards passing, the game-winning touchdown drive. Spiller absolutely incredible in this game, 16-103. But yeah, I mean, and Kiko Alonso, 10 tackles, interception. I want to talk about Kiko a little bit. You could say this season was basically like a one-hit wonder. If you would have told me back then, man, if you would have told me back then, if you had to guess which guy would still be on the Bills like 10 years from now or something like that, I would have said Kiko Alonso. That's how good he was.
You would have thought.
Yeah. Like.
And then that 1-for-1 trade. That wasn't a bad trade though.
No, it wasn't a bad trade. We'll get more into that maybe in the later part of this series. But I mean, Kiko, obviously we know what happened with the injuries and stuff like that to him. He really wasn't the same since. Also in this game, Mario Williams, 4.5 sacks. I mean, absolute. He was an absolute beast this season. But yeah, I mean, a great win for the Bills. I mean, people are kind of riding high. We played New England tough. You know what I mean? We have this young quarterback, new coach. We're 1-1. Some energy going into this next game against the Jets. But the Bills.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But the Bills let us down.
Yeah. I'll stop you if I ever heard you say that before. Yeah, when you're coming off a game like that, you definitely got like that high you're riding and stuff like that. You go to play the Jets and it's just like, I mean, EJ threw the ball 42 times that game. Didn't turn the ball over, no interceptions. Only a touchdown. But, Gino, despite having those 2 picks, I mean, he pretty much was slinging the ball. I mean, he had 16 completions and had 331 yards passing.
Yeah, and a rushing touchdown on top.
And a rushing touchdown. But like you said, Kiko, another pick. Hey, here's another guy with a pick, Jim Leonard, who's the Bills' new, defensive coordinator. So that's something cool as well. But yeah, like you said, it's basically the battle of the rookie quarterbacks, and like you said, not a strong quarterback class, and you saw signs in there why Gino was the best one to come out of there, and I mean he's still playing to this day.
Right.
So yeah, definitely a letdown after a nice win week 2, and especially against his divisional opponent.
It's so weird looking at this game and realizing Gino's gonna be back on the Jets this season.
Right.
Like if I would have told you at this time, I'm like, oh yeah, Gino's still gonna be the Jets starting quarterback in 2026. Be like, oh wow, this dude must have been a great quarterback, or whatever. Like this guy must have been like an all timer,
Right.
But Yeah, it's just funny how careers work. But yeah, Jets get the win. Bills are now 1-2. This next one, going up against I think the Super Bowl champ Ravens this year, coming
The
into the
Ravens.
Bills pull out an upset win. I mean, one stat jumps out to me. I think you're going to know what I'm going to say.
Say it anyway.
Joe Flacco, 5 interceptions in this game,
Right.
and the Bills only won by 3.
Yeah. It's one of those things. Like it's one of those. Even now, if you said that, it's like, hey, your opposing quarterback threw 5 interceptions. Oh, dude, we must have blew him out. Nope, we won by 3.
Yeah,
That's how it works in Buffalo.
yeah, and Kiko Alonso, 2 interceptions. I mean,
We're gonna say, like you said, we're gonna say his name a bunch.
yeah. So it's just really incredible. Man, I think I wrote his name down literally in almost every game. Like I did like the main stats of like what happened, and Kiko
Uh huh.
Alonso's name is probably like everywhere. It's
Oh
incredible.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm just looking at this. I can't believe like what happened to his career, you know. But anyways, but yeah, the Bills get the win. Not a great day from EJ. 10 for 22,
Right.
167, a touchdown, 2 picks. But hey, the
Right.
Bills get the win. So the Bills are now 2-2. Thursday night game against the Browns. You're thinking like, hey, we're 2-2 playing the Browns. We should win.
Right. For sure. I just clicked on the wrong game. Whoops. There we go. Yeah. I'm trying to remember too. Now that I'm looking at this. Oh no, that was in Cleveland. Okay.
Yeah, this was in Cleveland. Yeah.
I was thinking of a different Browns game, and it just happened that was the next game, and I clicked on it, and I was trying to put two and two together, but I answered my own question.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, um, but yeah, like you said, primetime game. I don't care what team you're playing. If you're allowing 37, you're probably not winning.
For sure.
Uh, but yeah, not a good day for my guy EJ. 11 to 20, a buck 29, no touchdowns, no interceptions, but sacked twice. Holy cow, Jeff Toole got in there, dude. I can't even believe I'm looking at like the Browns quarterbacks. I'm like Brandon Whedon. When's the last time I heard that name? Like I don't even remember the last time I heard that name, dude.
Oh man.
Oh my
We're
goodness.
gonna see a lot of good names.
Oh yeah, but I mean, there was some good out of the game though. Mario Williams 2 sacks. Dude, it's just amazing. Like all these guys you look at, and you're like, holy cow, dude. Like you know, there's just so many names that obviously you know them, but you're not thinking of them until you actually see it.
hmm Yeah,
And
there's a lot of guys like Kiko. I can even throw Marcel Darius in there too. You know what I mean? It's like guys
oh
at the
yeah,
time that were this was like the pinnacle of their careers. You know what I mean? You were expecting them to do much greater things after, and it just really never came full into fruition. You know what I mean? Yeah, maybe Darius had a few good years, but you're kind of expecting him at this point, like, oh man, this guy could have like a Hall of Fame career trajectory if this guy keeps going. But
for
it
sure.
just never really panned out. But yeah, like you said, Jeff Toole comes in this game. I believe Manuel got hurt. I don't think he was benched due to performance.
No.
But yeah, so now the Bills have a huge quarterback question going into this next game.
Hmm.
So Bills are now 2-3, and
Yep.
now playing against a tough Bengals team at home. And they do not start Jeff Toole, Chad Lewis. What do we remember about that?
Yeah, that was one. I mean, I think probably back then. It's hard to say. It was so long ago, but probably back then, like if we're like, all right, EJ's not starting, it's probably going to be Jeff Toole. And then you go into the game, you're like, holy cow, Thad Lewis is starting. And me back then, probably like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not sure who that is.
Mm-hmm.
um, so obviously, going into it, I mean, I was young back then. We're all old unks now. Um, but yeah, I'm looking at it, and I'm just like, I'm probably, how old was I back then? 18 or something like that in 2013, 17. I'm probably, on the computer looking up Thad Lewis. Okay, let's see. He went to this college, this, doing a little bit of research. But hey, you got to give the guy credit. Um, it didn't go the way we wanted to, but had some good numbers. I mean, not great numbers, but when you're throwing for, over 200 yards and 2 touchdowns, you're not turning the ball, you're not throwing picks. I mean, it's always a great thing, obviously. Um, but like you said, I mean, Dalton did his thing, for Cincinnati. Um, he had 3 touchdowns. Man, sorry, I got something in my eye. But it's one of those things where, I mean, here's another guy, we've said his name again, Jim Leonard, another pick,
Yep.
for the Bills. Bills' new defensive coordinator. Um, it's kind of funny how we're going through this, and you kind of hear those same handful of guys.
Hmm.
Their names just kind of keep rotating. It's so looking back. I mean, obviously, it brings up a lot of good memories, but definitely some bad ones to say the
I
least.
think it's more bad ones, at least with this season.
Oh,
Um,
dude, yeah, it's definitely more bad ones.
but yeah, I mean, Thad Lewis, for you know what I mean, what you said. I mean, 1932, 216, 2 touchdowns, ran for one. I mean, again, the Bengals were a really good team this season, and
Right.
putting up those numbers, it's really all you can really ask for out of what you're expecting. But yeah, the Bengals pull it out in the end. AJ Green killed us this game. Gio Bernard as well. Out of the
Yeah.
backfield, 6 for 72 and a touchdown, catching out of the backfield. But yeah,
Hmm.
but 2-4, the Bills' season seems to be rolling down fast. But is there a get right spot? Maybe there
There,
is.
I mean, at least after this game, you think there is. You're playing the AFC East opponent. Sorry, not Jeff Toole. Thad Lewis starts again. The Bills were out to a 14-0 lead. In the first quarter against Miami. No touchdowns throwing from Thad Lewis. I don't think he had any rushing either.
I don't think he did either.
Um, yeah, but 202 yards. It was one of those things where probably back then we're like, dude, this guy's got us a 14-0 lead in the first quarter. You're probably sitting in the back of your chair like, all right, we're just going to be on cruise, and here comes Miami and throws up 14 points of their own in the second quarter.
Mm-hmm.
And then, we're probably sitting there like, you know what? All right, the season might be over right now.
I'm a tank.
Yep, time to take. There's got to be somebody good, worth taking for.
Yeah. But yeah, the funny thing about like the tanking thing is like, oh, dude. I remember the question like we would always like say to ourselves like, oh, what quarterbacks come out this year? But it's like, oh, we just drafted a guy in the first round. Like I don't know if they're gonna do it again. But
Mm-hmm.
I remember this as being the Dan Carpenter game. He gets a game-winning field goal against his old team. That was definitely maybe not one I remember, but that when I was looking at through these games and stuff like that, that's something I did notice. And
Right.
real ones know, first and second year Dan Carpenter was a really good kicker for the Bills.
Oh, that dude was like prime. Like this dude might be an All Pro.
Yeah, he was for those seasons, but yeah, it went down pretty hard, pretty fast
Pretty
for.
fast, yeah.
So the Bills, season might be getting right 3-4, but then they go into New Orleans and play the Saints at the probably the peak of their powers. And
Yeah, can we skip this game?
yeah, this is called the Drew Brees domination game.
To say the least, when you're throwing up 300 plus yards and 5 touchdowns.
Yeah, Kenny Stills, a $129, 2 touchdowns on 3 catches.
Crazy.
Yeah, I mean, not much to say here. The only thing I will say is I remember back then, those Bills teams, when we were playing a team like the Saints, I was just like, yeah, we have no shot.
Yeah, I mean, but I feel like, through these losses and stuff, there's always, some good stuff you can find. And you could say it's just being optimistic, but, you got your tight end going for 7 for 72. Same thing with Stevie, 7 for 72 and a touchdown. But like you said, it's the Drew Brees game. You
Yeah,
know, he just absolutely annihilated us, and that's pretty much all you need to know.
yeah. So moving on.
Yeah, moving on quick.
No rest for the weary for the Bills. I'll say it again. No rest for the weary. I can't. No rest for the sick for the Bills because now the Bills just lose to the Saints. Thad Lewis is now hurt. EJ Manuel is not ready to play. So now Jeff Toole has to play against a 9-0
Right.
Chiefs team. So
Yeah, didn't Jeff Toole go on? Did he play for the Chiefs at some point, or am I thinking of somebody else?
I don't know if he played for the Chiefs at some point. That's a good
Okay,
trivia
maybe
question.
maybe I'm thinking of like Matt Castle or something.
Maybe it's Matt Castle, but anyways, yeah, I mean the Bills did hang in this game, but I don't think you're winning against with Jeff Toole at quarterback.
No, I mean, he threw a couple picks. I mean, Alex Smith didn't play the greatest. Dude had
No,
124 yards. Like,
no,
you know, he didn't have any touchdowns. So it's one of those things you can't fall in love with like a box score. But like if you were happen to look at that and you didn't know the score of the game, it'd be a fun one.
for sure. Definitely, Chiefs took advantage of Toole's mistakes. One has
Oh
to
yeah.
make you wonder if Thad Lewis could have played this game, or even EJ could have played this game if this
Hmm.
could have maybe turned out a little bit differently. But I guess we'll never know.
Right.
Because we had a good running game this game. Spiller 12 for 116, Jackson 16 for 77.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Godwin catch a nice bomb.
yeah, Kiko Alonso 8 tackles and a sack. I mean, dude's just an absolute monster. He's probably gonna be one of the best linebackers of all time, right? But moving on. So EJ Manuel's back,
He's back.
but it didn't go so well his first game back.
No, no, it didn't. No, the Steelers, not a good Steelers team either. At that point, but like you said, we only throw up 10 points, and it's one of those things. Like you said, EJ's back, but I guess you can say it really didn't matter. Not a great game, 22 of 39, a buck 55, a touchdown, and an interception. Um, Big Ben. These guys were chucking the rock. I mean, they both had over 30, pass attempts. Um, but it's just like another one of those like, almost like that slugfest. Like, is this team really out of it? It's kind of early to say. And then a team, gets a field goal here, and you're like, oh, maybe we got ourselves a game.
For sure. And I really wonder if the Steelers. Because I did see the record there. I didn't look to see what they did the rest of that season. I wonder if like that was a year like Big Ben was hurt for a lot at the beginning of the year, and then I think they maybe had like a great run towards the end because there's no because Tomlin never had a losing season, so
Right.
they couldn't have been that bad.
Do you know who scored a touchdown for the Bills on offense without looking?
I already looked. I know who it is.
Oh, you already saw it. Okay.
Maybe you know what? We won't say it. That's something I'm gonna put this. Yeah, I'm gonna edit it out later. We're gonna
Okay.
see
Yeah, it's a good
if the
idea. That's a
fans
good. That's a
know.
good idea.
We're
That
gonna
is
see
a
if the
good
fans know.
idea.
If someone can answer that question for us, we'll give you a cookie. How about that?
Yeah. Jarvis Bird had a nice pick that game.
Jarrisburg did have a nice
If
pick that
if we're
game.
looking for a bright side of something.
Might have been the only bright side of this game. Kiko Alonso 10
Oh,
tackles.
I was gonna say there wasn't many good things out of that game.
The Bills finally get some good things against the Jets. Probably their best performance of the season. Bills win in a blowout, 37-14. We had
Yep.
good Geno the first time we played the Jets. Then we get bad Geno this time against the Jets.
Oh, for sure. Only 8 completions. What do you have? 3 picks that game. Sacked 4 times. I mean, EJ looked great. 20 of 28, 245, and 2 passing touchdowns. One of those things. Marquise Goodwin. 6 for 81. Dude, Marquise Goodwin was one of those guys where it's like this dude was like. You want to talk about guys who are fast in the NFL? Like, people should go look up Marquise Goodwin, how fast this dude was. Like, he was that track star that one. Like, if you knew there was like a bomb coming to Marquise Goodwin every once in a good while. Like,
Mm-hmm.
there's no safety. It's man to man. Like, dude, you don't even have to like do anything specific. Like, literally just run straight, run
Yeah,
faster
just
than
beat him.
run, just run faster than the corner covering you, and we're gonna score.
Yeah.
This was this the home? Was this in Buffalo?
This was in Buffalo, yes.
This is Sunday. Okay, I'm thinking of the reason why I said it is because there was a night game against the Jets where we had our color rush uniforms on, where Marquise Goodwin caught a bomb that game.
I think I remember
And
that game.
you know what I'm talking about?
I know what game you're talking about. Yes,
I don't know what year that was,
I
but I
think
will figure it out.
that was like 2 or 3 years after this.
Was it? I just happened to see because I just happened to see like the Goodwin numbers and stuff, and it all kind of made sense.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, another game for Jarris Bird. 2 picks in that game. Man, there's some great names on this list. Manny Lawson on the defense. Arthur Moats. I mean, man.
It's crazy how we during that time we're like, all right, we're like, we really want these guys all to succeed and stuff like that. And it's just like, don't even remember him now. Like, I didn't think of Manny Lawson until like today when I saw the name.
Right. Yeah, it's one of those things you don't think of. I can tell you what I remember about Manny Lawson. His arms were freakishly long. Like, the dude had the most long arms. Like, it just looked like it wasn't even real. And he wore number 91. That's all I remember about Manny Lawson.
But the Bills finally get right after a 3-game losing streak.
Right before the bye week, you get a win.
Right before the bye week, get a win. Now we play a Falcons team in Toronto. Toronto.
Dude, I used to. Dude, yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth.
Hated them. Took away home games from us. I know that whatchamacallit, we have like this thing where the Bills have like, I don't know why they do it, but they have it where like they root for like the Toronto Blue Jays and stuff like that. And
right.
I just never got it. Like, let's put it like this: they have the Toronto Maple Leafs there. Is it far out of the question? It's not going to be people from Toronto that are going to say like, you know what? I don't like Buffalo. Screw them. I'm just going to root for the Falcons. Like, that's possible.
I mean, I guess.
But I mean, yeah, it took away home game from us. I'm glad it's no longer a thing. This was back when the Bills being here was kind of still in limbo. We didn't know what was going to happen after. I don't think Ralph died this year, but it was the off season after the season, I believe, and there was a lot of question marks, and it was something the Bills had to do to keep us here for the time being. But anyways, going to this game, Bills losing overtime in a thriller against the Falcons, 34-31. Also known as the game Roddy White could not be covered.
That was a bad man, bro.
Before Julio Jones in Atlanta, there was Roddy White.
I hope people know who Roddy White is.
So I didn't look back. Julio Jones definitely didn't play this game. Was he on the team and maybe injured this game?
That's a great question. 2013. I'm trying to remember. He got drafted in. This is gonna bug me now.
I was gonna look at it.
Give me a second. I'll look it up right now. What year was it? Oh yeah, he got drafted in 2011.
Yeah, that's why. So
right.
Julio this game. So
that's right.
So that's why Roddy White had a lot more on his plate this game. So I didn't see Julio Jones with a catch, and I don't think we held Julio Jones to about a catch or even a target. But yeah,
that was a heck of a game, dude.
Yeah, I remember this game. Definitely a heartbreaking loss. It was back and forth. Probably if you're a regular football fan, probably the best game of the Bills season. But Spiller 15 for 149 and a touchdown.
I was just gonna say Spiller had himself a nice game.
Yeah, definitely his type of game in a dome during that time. Speedy guy on a fast track.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, now we're getting towards for people wanting the Bills to tank, and if it wasn't, and if people weren't thinking that, they definitely fought it after the Bills.
Why 6 points not enough for your liking?
Yeah, I mean, I would rather lose the thrillers to the Falcons, but yeah. Oof.
I mean, Johnny, how many text messages do you think I got after this game that said EJ suck? That he sucks?
Probably 0 because you loved him. You probably made every excuse for him.
No, I might have made the excuses, but I still got a lot of text messages after that game that people were telling me that.
I thought you said you were saying that. Yeah.
No, I meant the people who were telling me.
Oh yeah, definitely. EJ, you know what EJ Manuel did? He saw what Geno Smith did against him a couple weeks before, and he's like, "All right, hold my beer. I got something for you." But
dude, we lost to a Tampa Bay team with Mike Glennon completing 9 passes
and Bobby Rainey. Do we even know who that is?
Now that you mention it, And like looking back at the at the guys on this team, I feel like I've heard his name before, but like I wouldn't be able to tell you before. Like, hey, what team did he play for?
This is probably the game of his life.
This dude just decided to be like, you know what? I'm just gonna run all over the Bills today, and everyone's gonna wonder who I am.
Exactly. He probably has the game ball at his man cave in his house, wherever he is now. I mean, shout
Oh
out Bobby
yeah,
Rainey. You had yourself a day. But
yeah, you did. You
Mike
can't hate on that.
Mike Glennon threw for 90 yards and Vincent Jackson had 70 of them.
R.I.P. Man.
R.I.P. Yeah, Vincent Jackson was a great receiver. But
Yes, he was.
But other than that, moving on. So the Bills get on track here, even though probably people wanted the Bills to lose this game.
Oh yeah, a little bit too little, too late.
Yeah, it's a little too late, but the Bills beat the Jaguars.
They beat the Jaguars. 3 touchdown game from EJ, 2 in the air, 1 rushing. One of those things where we kind of, I guess you could say excelled in using both our running backs. I feel like, throughout the season, it was like, oh, Fred Jackson did good this game. Oh, Spiller did good this game. This is one of those games where they both got a decent amount of carries, and I felt like did pretty well with them. One of those things. Excuse me, I was waiting for something to load. Another couple picks. Someone who we haven't really mentioned, Stephon Gilmore.
Yeah.
Was that his rookie year, 2013?
I looked. It was his second season.
Oh, it's the second season. Okay, I didn't know if it was first or second, but that was another guy, man, who I remember having conversations with you about him. Like, we'll get into that, at another time. But he was one guy, man. I was just I was in like a rage that they didn't re-sign him.
Mm-hmm.
He was another guy. He was just so slept on. I felt like.
Looking back, this secondary was actually pretty good. Like you had Gilmore, Jarris Byrd, Aaron Williams was really good this season.
Yeah.
We had McKelvin still.
Aaron Williams. Aaron Williams had a pick in that game too.
Yeah, so I mean, like our defense was really good this season, and it's pretty disappointing when you look at this Bills team and wonder if we had better quarterback play, maybe this team could have gotten into the playoffs or something like that, or at least won 9 games or so.
Right. It's one of those things where it's even if maybe one of those guys was just fully healthy and maybe got the majority of the starts, not saying they would have done great, but maybe the more consistent play, getting in that rhythm, like you said, maybe we could have got to like 9 wins or something like that.
For sure. And in another trend I noticed in the season, like we lost a lot of close games. You wonder if a few plays go our way. Like we're talking about the Patriots game, first game of the year, the Falcons game, the Bengals game. Those are 3 games off the top of my head right there. We were wondering, like, a few plays go our way, all of a sudden, instead of us, wanting to tank at this point in the season, we might be in the playoff race. But
exactly.
But that didn't happen.
That didn't happen, John.
But moving on, the Bills win again
against the Dolphins.
Yeah, but everyone's probably really mad at the Bills are signing to win now, but Bills win 19-0. Tannehill was sacked 7 times.
Yes, he was, and hey, another great day for our 2 running backs.
Yes, this was
Fred Jackson and C.J. Spiller decided to ball out.
Yeah, and that was another part that I looked back on and was really frustrated on with the season. It really took the Bills until the end of the season to get them rolling at the same time.
I was going to say to kind of utilize them both, yeah.
Yeah, and it's pretty disappointing. It's easier to get that because I've noticed like the last couple of games we've been probably more in positive game scripts where we're probably leading more of the game, or at least in it. But yeah, that's one thing I was a little bit disappointed on with this season. But yeah, Kyle Williams 2 sacks this game. Roby.
I was just going to bring him up. We haven't been talking about good old Kyle Williams.
Oh man, we can talk about Kyle for a little bit, man.
You know what I'm kind of disappointed in right now?
What?
I'm kind of disappointed at myself.
Why?
Because I have at least two EJ Manuel jerseys in a box somewhere that I should have had on ready for this episode. So to everyone out there, I'm sorry I let you down.
You still have next episode.
I do, but now it's kind of planned,
True.
It's one of those things where I had a good opportunity and I didn't run with it.
It's okay. There'll be other opportunities. Maybe when we have EJ Manuel as a guest on our podcast one day, you can wear it.
Dude, it's that I don't even know. Don't get me excited, John. Don't
Hey, that's all
don't.
you, man. You can interview him the whole time and everything.
Johnny's just gonna sit there like this.
Yeah. But yeah, I just want to talk about Kyle Williams. He's one guy. Him and probably Fred Jackson too, but the Kyle Williams is the main one where I'm just like, I wish he was here for better teams because he deserved it.
Oh yeah, 100%. That was one guy. That's those two guys. There's a handful of guys, but Fred Jackson and Kyle Williams are guys that you can have their jersey and wear it to the Bills game now because even though they're not on the team, what those guys meant to Buffalo and like everybody loved those guys.
Yeah, true Buffalo Bills in every sense of the word. We'll never have
yeah,
to say about either one of those guys.
For sure.
The end off the season, we play the Patriots again. Everything comes full circle, and as we all expect, the Bills lose. Because
not a great game though, as far as just I mean, New England throws up 34, but you're not getting beat from Brady, which is kind of like wow. You think if the Patriots are scoring that many points, it's probably like, oh, Tom Brady just kind of decided to have a great game. No, it was LeGarrette Blount who decided to I feel like he had like a couple of these games for every team he was on. At some point, like you just kind of hear about it.
Yeah, for sure. I most notably remember this when he was on the Patriots. Whenever they played the Colts, look,
Yeah,
you can go. I really want to go after this. I'm gonna go like on game logs or whatever and look at LeGarrette Blount versus the Colts when he was on the Patriots. I think he had like 3 or 4 separate games where he just went absolutely ballistic. And I don't know, it was probably something they just saw on film against that team. But yeah,
right.
Thad Lewis did start these last 2 games. I think EJ got hurt again or whatever. Kiko Alonso, 14 tackles in this game. Just an absolute beast. But yeah,
Spiller had over 100 yards rushing. Manny Lawson, man, we're talking about Manny Lawson. Got to pick that game.
There we go. Yeah, like you said, Brady struggled, but we just got gashed in the ground. Like 189 from Blunt, 74 from Ridley too.
I was just gonna say Ridley too added some good yards on the ground too.
Yeah, so talk about getting gashed on the run. That's and I think even Shane Vereen was receiving, but 3 for 42 and a touchdown. So the Patriots running backs basically carried them to a win.
Yeah, they saw something in that game that they said the running backs are going to have themselves a field day.
So that ends the Bills season at 6-10.
Oh, thank goodness it's over.
So, so after this season, how are Bills fans feeling?
Oh goodness. They're probably, like you said, they're probably mad we didn't tank and get ourselves a better draft pick and stuff. But I remember, being the EJ fan that I am and that I was, especially back then. When you look at it and be like, hey, this guy went 4-6. He only played 10 games. Like he didn't play that whole season, obviously, because injuries and stuff like that. But it's like for a guy who wasn't even supposed to probably be playing or not playing as much, like not terrible. Like I think I kind of figured, like probably everyone kind of figured, like, hey, we're not getting another quarterback, to replace him right away. So I'm sure there's some people who are mad that are like, oh man, we got to deal with another season, like at least of this and stuff like that. But it's one of those things, like you said it perfectly, where the Bills kind of waited too long to get those running backs and Fred Jackson and CJ Spiller going. I mean, Spiller had 933 for rushing yards on the season. Freddie had he had 890. Mm-hmm. So it's one of those things where it's like, dude, like that's great. Like to have 2 running backs with that amount of like rushing yards, like just it makes you think, like you said earlier, like the close games and stuff like that, the injuries. Like, what if we would have just been like real more run dominant, like early off? Like, what if it made a better out for a better season? Like, should we have been probably that run first, run the ball down your throat, and hope our defense gives a couple stops or a couple turnovers.
For sure. There were games where I saw that EJ Manuel was getting, 35 plus pass attempts. That should have never happened with this team.
Yeah, it should have never happened on this team too, especially when you're a rookie. Like you shouldn't have your quarterback going out there who's a rookie who's playing every other game throwing the ball that many times. Like yeah, it might be, a game or two where you're losing by 14 in the fourth and you're kind of like, all right, we just got to start slinging the ball. But like you said, I felt like, one of the takeaways I'll definitely take away from the season is like I wish they would have got those guys in Spiller and Jackson going a lot more earlier than they did.
100%. And so obviously you were sold on EJ after this season. The Bills definitely were not. They definitely saw
Right.
something. They probably saw something, in training camp next year. I mean, I think there was even questions whether Thad Lewis would start the next season after this, but that ended up not going to fruition. We'll talk about that next episode. The Bills, what they decided to do at quarterback,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I think we're gonna end the episode off that. Let us know what y'all think about this series. I don't know about Ty, but I had a lot of fun, even though it was a lot of disappointing memories that we had to go through just now.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a lot of fun, and I think what makes it like a lot more fun going back is like for me personally, it's the guys who I completely forgot were on like the team at that point, and like I see a name, here and there, and I'm just like, holy cow! Instantly, their number pops into my head. Instantly, like a play pops into my head that they made or something like that. Um, you know, Stuff like that. And I think what makes it fun too is going back is knowing how good and how far we have come along now to where it's like, man, like I hope we never have to experience that. Like we experienced it for so long. It wasn't. It's not like we were bad for a year or two. No, the Bills were bad for freaking almost 20 years, like in a row.
I feel if there's like young Bills fans out there that all they know is like maybe like they've been a fan like of the Bills like the past like 5 years of them winning. Like if you're a Bills fan, it's probably like 16 and younger. You probably should listen to this episode. Maybe you might be a little more grateful.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point. Like you said, if all you know is like Josh Allen and like winning the AFC East and the playoffs and stuff like that, like yeah, it's heartbreaking we haven't like won the Super Bowl, but it's like you have no idea what heartbreak is unless you live through like those drought years. And like even before us, we can have the old heads on here saying like, "Oh, you guys thought the drought years were bad. Go live through the 4 Super Bowl losses." Like there's always going to be like, the age, the old heads like us right in the middle who experienced the drought, and then you got the people now who was like, "Yeah, we experienced heartbreak because we lose in the playoffs." It's like, man, those 17 years, especially like having seasons and stuff going to the games, you're like every year you're just like, all right, man, it's our year. Like this is it. This is it.
I wouldn't say like the new fans are void of heartbreak because there has been a lot of heartbreak the past, years or whatever. But I think they're void of not feeling hopelessness. Let's put it like that. This whole period was basically a lot of hopelessness. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like right now, if the Bills, I think there were 16 games back then, but
Yeah.
if the Bills won 10 games this season, I feel it would be a little bit disappointing. We dreamed of winning nine, even 9 games a couple of seasons or 10. You know
Hmm.
what I mean in a season, but that was a lot of fun. Again, I appreciate all the support. If you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, please do. But until next time, peace out.
Peace.